So welcome to, well, I think you know what that is. That is a 2021 Aventador SVJ Roadster. And my goodness, let me tell you something. This car is no joke. This car is no joke. I'm kind of speechless when it comes to this car. This is my first reaction. I have not driven the SVJ Roadster. This is the very first time me driving this car. And let me tell you right now, that V12? Oh my God! Oh my goodness. It is something that is nearly impossible to explain how fucking good this car really is. This is a true reaction. I haven't driven this. I literally started it, got familiar with the car, and literally just got in it. I did take some notes though. I wanted to get the horsepower right. 759 horsepower, 530 foot-pounds of torque. It does have a lighter, it is a lighter than the previous version. It has a lighter flywheel, a lighter clutch. The car is a little bit lighter in general. It has the ALA active aero. And then also the MSRP of this particular one is around 670,000. And it's just so crazy, man. The rear wheel steering on this thing, I can't wait to test it out. Just go up this road real quick here. That's right here, this little canyon. It's gonna feel awesome. I just know it's gonna feel awesome. It's hard though to see rear view wise, but you don't have to look rear, I guess. Oh my God! That is how a car should sound. The brakes are absolutely absurd how good these brakes are. Unbelievable how good these brakes are. Whew. I also think Lamborghini did a great job with this car. The fit and finish, I'm not even going to talk about that. It's not even close. Lamborghini's fit and finish is just, it's bar none. I mean, you can enjoy the sounds of the car. Hopefully it comes through. The Roadster top is off. It is stored in the front of the car, the trunk, aka the front. Lamborghini did a great job with this car. The active aero on this thing is, you're not going to feel it on the street. You're definitely going to feel it on the track. You're definitely not going to feel it on the street. The way the car feels, though, it feels amazing. It's crazy how the rear bonnet sucks in the air, based on my research, and then changes the wing behind it. There's a little wing on the back of the wings. There's this little hole, so whether it opens or it closes or not. So it allows air to come in and allows air to come out. This particular car does have a front end lift. The only downside sometimes of the car is you got to be very careful, because at 20 miles an hour the lift will go down, and sometimes you think it's up, so you got to be very careful. Some amazing corners coming up here. Let's hit it real quick. Oh my God, this thing is so planted, it's crazy. For how big of a car it feels, kind of, it feels nimble though. It feels light. It feels really, really good. It doesn't feel like something that is very, what's the word I want to use? Heavy, so to speak. And that single clutch just bangs, bangs, bangs. It literally bangs. And you can feel it, you can see it, the way my head moves when it's shifting. It's just brutal, it's violent, but it delivers that much more thrill in the actual driving experience. There's really no way to describe how this car feels through video. I feel like it kind of really has to just be experienced. Oh, it just feels so good though. Great turning radius. Wait for this traffic to clear up a little bit. These are some of my favorite corners to hit. nimble. Oh my goodness. And it's so, the agility of this car is insane. Like, I just went through a little traffic there, came up through the sweeper corner. Oh my God, the agility is insane. But let me tell you something. This car's ass end and hips is so big that you gotta really look. The Roadster top really does help you to look over in your blind spot to see if anybody is there. I mean, honestly, just brutal on how this car feels. Oh my God, my heart is shaking. I haven't had a car shake my heart like that in a long time. And the last time I think that happened was when I got a ride in an 1800 horsepower GTR, and obviously I was a passenger, but you driving this thing, oh my God, it does something to the soul. Lamborghini, what are you guys doing? I was telling my buddy, I don't know about this single clutch system, but let me tell you about this single clutch, man. I think it's so brutal that it makes it even more violent when you're driving it. Like, when you look at the SVJ, the crazy lines of the car just looks violent when it's sitting still. Oh my God, it's crazy. Greg is gonna get an exhaust on this. This is my boy's SVJ, obviously. Greg is definitely gonna get an exhaust on this thing, and it's gonna be a different fucking animal with an exhaust. This thing is going to blare. If the city hasn't woken up yet, driving through, it will definitely wake up. But man, this car is like a movie, man. Like, it feels like you're fucking Batman or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, there's a slow turn up here. Let's feel it out. It's so planted. So good. It's like a heavier version of my Porsche. Oh my gosh, it's like a heavier version of my Porsche. Whew, I think that's enough having fun and reviewing this thing for the day in terms of driving, because we are going to fucking go to jail today if I continue this drive, because it feels so good. Now we'll drive normal. Gonna go up Newport Coast Drive here. We're in Mexico. Wink, wink. I'm talking gibberish because the car has me blown away for words. It's crazy. The interior feels great. I am a little taller, so my head is kind of sticking up a little bit. Like, you know, I wonder how it's going to correlate in the video for the wind and whatnot. But, you know, we'll talk about the car's features on the outside when we pull over up here, but a little normal driving. We'll go up Pelican Hill up here, and then we'll do a little walk around of the car. I cannot wait till Greg gets that exhaust. Just gonna open this thing up. Oh, it's just pure. It's an event. The easiest way to describe it is it becomes an event of something that, you know, you're not quite sure on how it feels. It gives you all the emotions that you need from a car. Exhilaration, rush, a little bit confused on how brutally powerful the car is. There's a lot of things that this car does that like that, you know, everyone gives you the thumbs up and they enjoy it and they love it. And that's what Lamborghini should do. And that's what this Lamborghini does. And that's what Lamborghini does in general, is it gives the kid the dream that it's all possible. You know, it gives the kid the dream that you can also do it. You know what I'm saying? When you see a Lamborghini as a kid, for me, I never thought I'd be driving crazy shit like this. When I see a Lamborghini as a kid, for me, it was the dreams possible, the hard work, the dedication to whatever the craft and skill is, and the hard work that you put in. A car like this is a byproduct of success. A car like this, when you own it, should never be looked down upon or jealousy or anything. It should be a form of inspiration and motivation. In my eyes, that's how I see it. It's just, that's what the car does when somebody sees it. Lamborghini really does sell a dream. And they sell a dream and they turn it into a reality. And when that reality hits, is when you leave the dealership. Because you think of all the dreams that you had as a kid, that's what Lamborghini sells. And I think that is what no other car manufacturer can do in my eyes. But they can't bring that emotion to it. And, you know, it's not a perfect car, but let me tell you, it's pretty close. There's only two things I would change. I would love if you unlocked it on the first try, the driver door would go up. If you unlocked it on the second try, the passenger goes up, doors go up, and then when you lock the car, the doors could automatically come down. I think that would be a cool feature. Second thing is, I wish they did the Evo navigation system for the new Huracan Evo. Other than that, I can't see anything else I would change about this. Maybe a little visibility, but I mean, shit, I'm not really looking behind me. I'm looking in front of me. You know what I mean? So there's not much visibility change. I mean, the car feels nimble. Like that little like turnaround there. We'll do a video here in a second of a walk around of the car, but oh. It's so good. It's crazy how good it is. Congratulations to my buddy Greg, because it's amazing. Wow. First and foremost, I think the first thing you notice about these cars is their abrupt, sharp angles. And you know, this color is black, so it's a little bit different on how these angles are reflected in the paint. You can see a little angle here, angle there, these angles, but they're just so abrupt in how different lighting and different angles of the car and how the eye picks it up. Definitely cameras are very hard to pick it up. This one is spec'd, obviously they all have the carbon ceramic brakes. It's a big car, it's a heavy car. It needs these carbon ceramic brakes. So the ALA system, which I'm not even gonna try to pronounce by any means, aerodynamic Lamborghini, I don't even know. But I love this bonnet. So Roadster's a little bit different. This back window here goes down, which is badass. You can have it up, you can have it down. The air flows over here, then the air goes through here. And then there's slits inside the spoiler, inside the wing here. These slits will allow air to bypass through or close up and allow air not to bypass through. So one side could have air coming through, the other side cannot have air coming through. And in combination with the rear wheel steering, it's going to change the way the car performs on the track and the aerodynamics of the vehicle overall. Obviously, you're not going to feel it on the street. You're going to feel it more so in highly aggressive track situations. This car is just crazy, man. Like the way the Roadster looks too, it just looks absolutely mental in the way that the car's presence is on the road. Obviously you have the signature Lamborghini doors when it comes to an Aventador. I love the Aventador riding. It's so menacing to me in my eyes, like, and the signature Aventador little Ys on the carpet, and the seats which reflect the actual taillights and like the performante or the track, or you know, the kind of legacy, that legacy of the Aventador is kind of like, hey, we want you to know it's Aventador because, you know, the taillight design, the little designs and the features that, you know, Lamborghini does. Full Alcantara
dash with leather in the center with a little red leather piping that's very subtle. Alcantara everywhere, seats, steering wheel, carbon all over the doors with this cool strap you can use to pull yourself down with the doors. You open the doors from right here. So the only flaw, like, no, I'm not gonna say flaw, the only thing I would change is a feature request would be, because it is a 2021, I was hoping, you know, they would do like a Lamborghini Evo style, which I'll throw a picture up of it, center console where it's all touch, it's haptic feedback. I think that would have been an amazing option. But other than that, the car is a lot lighter than I thought it would be. It's not as heavy. It is a heavy car on paper. Let's look at the weight real quick. 4630. So 4630 curb weight. And, you know, with me in it, let's say we're at 4,800 pounds. I was actually about to guess 4,800 pounds too, which is crazy. With 4,800 pound car, it doesn't feel like a 4,800 pound car. My GT3 RS 997.2 is about 3,100 pounds. With me in it, let's say 3,300. This car doesn't feel like a 4,800 pound car when I'm in it and when I'm driving it. The front end still feels very nice. It still feels nimble. It feels like a heavier car a little bit because that single clutch kind of maneuvers and shifts the weight around when you're shifting in between gears. But other than that, it doesn't really feel like much. I mean, listen, you got this big V12 that's a monstrous, that revs out, by the way, at 8,700 RPM. This thing fucking revs out at 8,700 RPM, a naturally aspirated V12. It's crazy. So it does use the same motor as a previous generation, but they changed internals. Like I was mentioning earlier, they did a lighter clutch, a lighter flywheel. They did titanium internals that Lamborghini never specified what exactly, but they changed some things with this car. Obviously, the entire body and the aero is different. All in all, I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. So all in all, now that I'm gathering my thoughts sitting here on the SVJ, great car. It's nimbler than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot easier to drive than I thought it was going to be in terms of it feels big when you're sitting inside, but once you get used to the car's blind spots, where they're at, it feels really good. You can feel the weight of the car in the brakes sometimes at higher speeds when you're kind of coming to a faster stop than usual at a higher speed. You could feel it. Let's say slowing down from like 120, 125. You feel a little bit more brakes a little bit, like where you got to give it a little bit more hard braking, which, you know, it's a bigger car. I mean, it's not necessarily something that I'm complaining about, but it's not necessarily something that, you know, is a flaw either. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's a different animal on the track. I drove it on the street. You guys saw how I drove it. It's not something that, you know, would be very not taken into, you know, consideration, I guess you could say. However I'm trying to describe this, consideration for it wouldn't be a make or break deal is what I'm saying. And the single clutch, the delay, you got to get used to it. I got used to it after 10-15 minutes of driving, but it does take some time getting used to, because you start figuring out the car and how it behaves. But all in all, it's a great car. I mean, I think it's not an exotic. I feel like it's more of a hypercar, to be honest. It feels more like a hypercar, and what I mean by that is, you know, there's hypercars have a certain kind of ooh and ah factor to them, and this car has it 100%. Every single person at every light wants to take a picture of it, wants to talk to you in some way, shape, or form, or can't even drive straight because they're trying to look. I had somebody from across the other lane in traffic at the red light trying to get a picture and slow down their lane of traffic just to get a picture. So it has the hypercar feel. It drives amazing. It's fast. That V12 screaming to 8,700 RPM right behind your head just sounds insane. Once there's an exhaust on that car, oh my god, it's gonna literally, if you're awake still in the neighborhood, it's gonna wake you up even more. It's gonna be ridiculous. But we'll do probably a video on that or something. But all in all, it's a great car. I mean, I was sitting here collecting my thoughts after driving it, and I just don't see any, besides a couple things I mentioned, wish they did the Huracan Evo center console with the touchscreen and stuff. I felt like they should have done that since the car is a 2021. I feel like that was kind of a miss there a little bit. But it's okay. I assume they're probably saving it for the new hybrid Aventador that's coming out. The unlock, I think, would be a cool feature for the price that the car is, where you unlock it and the door goes up, passenger door, and they could come down. I think that'd be a really cool feature to have. Other than that, it's great. It drives really good. It's smoother than I thought it was going to be driving normal, but it stiffens up heavily once the car gets moving, when you're starting to throw it into corners and whatnot. So yeah, that's just a little bit of my thoughts after driving it and just kind of sitting down and recollecting on the drive. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was interesting. It's just, how I looked at it, how I viewed the car from my past driving experiences, from the cars that I've driven, from the things that I've seen, and from my point of view, from my experiences, how I view the car from my lens. Every single person's going to be different. My reviews aren't necessarily meant to be exactly what the car is like, exactly what the specs are like, exactly how it should be explained by the factory. No, I'm explaining it from an enthusiast standpoint, and it's a different standpoint than a blogger or a vlogger or somebody that's getting paid by Lamborghini to drive this car, because they still want to maintain a solid relationship with Lamborghini or Ferrari or any of the other manufacturers that they work with. Me, I'm just going to give it to you straight. I mean, you want me to drive a car and give you a true, honest answer? I'll give that to you. One thing I did wish, though, is like the seats situation. Actually, that just came to my head too. Is I'm 6 feet tall, maybe even 6'1" with some shoes on. My legs are really long. I feel like my head was kind of sticking out a little bit. You might be able to see that in the video. I haven't looked at the video yet. I haven't edited it or looked back on it. I feel like when the seat is all the way back, it kind of makes this little squeaky, scratchy noise on the back of the cars. I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever's behind you, the leather or the plastic that's there. So you got to move the seat up just slightly off the back of it. So you lose like an inch or so of space. I mean, when you're tall a little bit, that inch kind of makes a difference. But otherwise, I felt comfortable in the car. I didn't feel like I couldn't own it because of that reason. I felt comfortable. I enjoyed the drive. I drove it in traffic. Drove it about 15 miles. Drove it slow traffic, dead stop traffic, freeway driving, smashing on it. So that's it. That's my recollection, actually, of the car. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And yeah, thanks.